on one of our annual father-daughter dates to my favorite Japanese restaurant, and you just started talking to me about guys, and you just told me that you always supported me and you'd always be there for me no matter what, and you loved me unconditionally.
Not only did Steve show favoritism toward Lori, but he also wasn't much of a father figure to his other kids. For instance, his son BRCK revealed that he didn't even have a real relationship with Steve until he was around 15 or 16. This just adds to the picture of Steve being largely absent and distant from his other children's lives during their formative years.
I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 6.
It's no secret that Steve Harvey's relationship with his stepchildren has raised a lot of eyebrows, especially when it comes to his daughter Lori. One revealing story came from someone who went to high school with the twins, where they mentioned that although they were a few years ahead of Lori and her siblings, everyone talked about them because of who their father was. But here's the kicker. Steve didn't even bother to show up to his own daughter's graduation. This same person also noted that it was obvious Steve favored Lori over her siblings, with little attention or care given to Marjorie's 2 other children, even though he adopted them all. It's clear as day that Lori had a special place in his heart, and the rest of the kids didn't come close. Steve was always her biggest cheerleader, supporting her every move. Whether it was modeling gigs, high-profile boyfriends, or red carpet moments, Steve was there for it all, proudly backing her up. Meanwhile, the treatment of Lori's siblings didn't go unnoticed. The favoritism was glaring, and it stirred up some serious resentment. It's one thing to be proud of a stepchild, but when it feels like one kid is put on a pedestal while the others are sidelined, that's bound to cause tension. And let's not forget the father-daughter outings that just made it worse. Given the recent messy allegations about Steve allegedly pimping Lori out, many are now questioning if those outings were just innocent bonding moments or if Steve was strategically positioning her in elite circles. Lori's relationships have also sparked major conversations. She's been linked to some of the biggest names in the industry, like Future, Michael B. Jordan, and most recently, Damson Idris. In late 2020, Lori and Michael B. Jordan went public, and for a while, fans were convinced they were a match made in Hollywood heaven. Their Instagram-worthy vacations and matching outfits gave the impression that wedding bells were on the horizon. But just 2 years later, in June 2022, they broke up. Rumors swirled that Michael was ready to settle down, but Lori wasn't on the same page, and some fans even joked that Michael's subscription to Lori had expired, with Steve allegedly blocking the renewal. By January 2023, Lori was linked to Damson Idris, and their relationship seemed different. There were fewer public moments, and people weren't convinced they had the spark they expected. By November 2023, the relationship was reportedly over, with insiders hinting that it might have been a PR stunt orchestrated by Steve. The idea was that Lori got more clout from being associated with Damson,
her out,
while he gained the publicity boost of dating her. A win-win, right? But the real question is, was Lori in on it, or was Steve calling the shots from behind the scenes? Things took an even messier turn when Lori started dating Diddy. The age gap, 28 years, had the internet buzzing. People pointed out that Diddy had known Lori since she was a teenager, given his long-standing friendship with Steve. The fact that he pursued a romantic relationship with Lori once she was grown raised a lot of eyebrows. But the most controversial part? Rumors circulated that Lori had also dated Diddy's son, which she quickly shut down, denying the claims. All of this only added to the growing confusion and scrutiny surrounding Lori's relationships and Steve's involvement in her career and love life.
Written about you in the press, but I've always wanted to know, what is like the biggest misconception about who Lori Harvey is?
It's so funny because I'm so quiet.
Yeah.
There's been so many stories that have been made up about me. Like I've seen stories about me being like fully in love with somebody and we have like this whole relationship, and I'll see the guy and I'm like, I've actually never even met him before.
No.
Like full-blown stories I've heard. I've dated a father and son before.
Throughout all of this, fans have often blamed Steve, believing he was pushing Lori into certain situations, even though there was no concrete proof of him doing so. But with Lori's recent Playboy photo shoot and the rumors about Steve's strong reaction to it, it seems like this time, it's all on Lori. The Playboy issue she's featured in is set to be a big deal. It's Playboy's first physical copy in 5 years, and they're planning a huge rollout. This means we're about to see some very provocative photos of Lori in the coming weeks. And according to reports, this isn't something Steve wants to see, especially considering how he reacted to that seemingly innocent picture of Lori with Michael B. Jordan.
Seen that picture before. Very uncomfortable with that picture right there.
If Steve was already bothered by that innocent picture of Lori with Michael B. Jordan, just imagine how he'll feel seeing her in those steamy Playboy shots. It's probably not something he wants to witness. This raises the question, why would Lori even do the photo shoot in the first place? Some reports suggest that it might be because she's struggling financially. While we can't say for sure, it's worth considering. Lori hasn't been making much noise lately, no new endorsements or high-profile gigs. Her skincare brand, Skin by LH, hasn't been doing well either. There haven't been updates on the brand's social media, and it's been quiet for a while. So, yeah, it's possible that she might be in need of cash, which could explain her decision to pose for Playboy. It seems like we might have misjudged Steve all this time, but we want to hear your thoughts on this. Drop your comments below, and then check out this next video.